Tayto Park is a theme park located in Ireland based off the famous crisp brand Tayto's. This park is home to many rides and attractions, but what are the top 10 rides over at Tayto Park? Coming in at number 10, we have got Ladybird Loop, a spinning coaster made by the Italian manufacturer SBF Visa. Now looking at the name, most of you would think that this ride has a loop in it, but you'd be dead wrong, as despite the name, this ride sadly does not feature any loops. However, it is still a brilliant ride, as not only do you have the thrills, but also you have the theming, which gets you immersed when you go around all of the mushrooms and flowers, which really makes you feel like you are the size of a ladybird. This ride is also perfect for families, as the mini garden theme mixed with the spin-tastic thrills makes you want more and more. In at number 9, we have got a Zamperla shot tower named, well, Shot Tower. This drop-tastic ride shoots riders up, then down and repeats it a few times, giving quite an intense experience, and this is what makes this ride so popular with park goers. One thing that is worth noting though is that this ride does lack the theming aspect, and the Chulainn is not themed at all, so if you are big on this sort of thing like myself, then don't expect anything groundbreaking, but this ride is definitely still worth doing, as the thrills of Skydrop are worth even the longer queues. Have you ever felt like flying a plane? Well, if so, at number 8 is the ride for you. This is Air Race, and what can I say apart from this ride looks absolutely intense off-ride, and it's absolutely intense on-ride as well. How this ride works is that you are sat in a gondola that is themed to look like a plane, and as this ride begins, the gondola is attached to an arm which will take you around in a circle. But this is when the ride starts to get intense. As the ride is already going round, the gondola will start to spin, doing a barrel roll type movement, taking riders upside down, making you feel like you are in a stunt plane doing tricks. But in all seriousness, this ride is super intense, so if your stomach is up for it, then Air Race should definitely be on your bucket list. All aboard! At number 7, we have got Steam Train Express, which is a nice train ride that takes you around part of the park, and honestly, this ride does remind me of the Legoland Express over at Legoland Windsor Resort. What I love most about these types of rides is that they are extremely chilled out, and especially if you have a busy day riding all the rides, it is a perfect way to take a breather as well as getting to see some nice bits of nature around the park. Some theming that has been placed along the way really does make this ride perfect for families, and even if you are younger you can still ride this attraction. In addition to this as well, the queue lines are also really short, as the train is so long, so you will not be expecting a long queue time. Choo choo. Get your spare pair of clothes ready, as for our number 6 spot we have got Viking Voyage. This water ride has a very unique feature on it, but I will explain that later on. First things first though, the theming on this ride is really good. Obviously it is no Disney theming, but for what it is I actually really like it, and as you can probably guess by the name of this ride, it is themed towards the Vikings. Along the ride itself though, there is the first lift hill as you go up through a rockwork structure that is themed towards a Viking helmet, and after that there is lots of great rapid elements all going through the Viking theming. Now moving on to the special feature, yes, this ride has got a backwards drop, and for a water ride this is extremely rare. Not to mention though, the final drop gets you extremely wet, so if you do want to get soaked but also have a cool cred, then get yourself down to Tayto Park and experience this ride. Coming in at number 5, we have got Flight School, a Sierra family coaster. Standing at 36 feet tall, this ride is not the same height as an airplane, but it does take you down some dips and turns, making it all a very solid coaster. Personally, I love the theming of the front of the vehicle, as it has got some propellers really adding to the experience that you are in a real flight school. The ride restraints are lap bars, so that means that the ride truly isn't that intense, so some will not like this. Nevertheless, I think that if you are going with people who particularly don't like coasters or just young children, then this ride is perfect to get them on some of the bigger thrills and coasters. Get ready to spin, as at number 4 we have got Power Surge, a flat ride that looks like if Samurai, at Tayto Park and a claw swing were merged together. This ride is really something else, and just from looking at it, it looks absolutely mental. If you don't know how this ride works properly, then let me explain it to you. You are sat in a gondola that seats 2 seats on either side. This is then attached to a claw, and as the ride begins, you get put upside down, but this isn't even the most intense part yet, as the gondola itself can free spin, so you not only are you getting taken upside down by the claw, but there's also the gondola that can spin left, right and centre, so you really can see why I call this ride intense. But if you are up for the task, then I definitely recommend checking out Power Surge. Top 3, and for the number 3 spot we have got Endeavour, a flat ride manufactured by Zamperla. Now this ride may look a lot like a Hut Enterprise, but if you did guess that, well, then you're half right, as although this ride has got the same layout, the seats that you sit in would be what you normally find on an inverted coaster, as your feet are dangling. But all round it is a pretty intense ride, and if you go on it you will get a lot, and I mean a lot, of G-forces. So some advice from me would be not to put your head down, as you may experience some pain along the way. But as long as you do not do that, then Endeavour is so fun and is one that you should definitely try. In at number 2 we have got the Rotator, a maxi dance party 360 swing ride that takes riders to the top of the park, all whilst rotating them around. This ride is one of the scariest flat rides on park, if not rides in general, because trust me, it may not look scary if you haven't seen it in real life, but when you go up to it in person, it looks menacing, and you may think that it doesn't go that high or it doesn't spin that much, but believe me, it does. It feels like the whole goal of this ride is to be thrilling and scary. Also though, it is worth mentioning, however, that you cannot fit many people per cycle, so the queue lines can be very long, especially on the busy days. Finally, we have made it to the number 1 spot, and the ride that deserves this spot is definitely going to the Coo Shan wooden roller coaster. I'm sorry for pronunciation. This ride holds the title of being not only Ireland's first wooden roller coaster, but also Europe's largest. This roller coaster is standing at a whopping 105 feet tall, and is themed off the Irish legend of the Coo Shan. Takes you along some airtime thrills, intense curves and turns, all which makes the ride worthy of the number 1 spot. Most people consider this ride as being their absolute favourite by a big margin, and they are right for having this opinion, as this ride is amazing. The theming is also good, as the front of the vehicle is themed towards the Irish legend again, and when you are going around it feels really intense. All of this ride as well does come unfortunately with a little bit of roughness that comes throughout the majority of the roller coaster, but don't worry, as even though it may be a little jolty here and there, this ride still is one of the best in Europe, and what wooden roller coaster doesn't experience a little bit of rough moments? Unfortunately, that is it from our top 10 video over at Tayto Park. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to like, subscribe and comment down below, as we post 4 top 10s every single week. In addition to this, if you are a huge fan of the channel, please make sure to follow our Patreon page, as it means the absolute world to us. But that is it from me, Tom Derrick from Theme Park Coasting, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.